Hello, beloved twin flames and light workers. This is Steph Parasha, Divine Light, coming out to you from New Zealand, Aotearoa, with an energy update message for the coming up to the 11:11 gateway, which I always find is one of the major gateways and portals of shift and change in the year as we head, towards even the end of the year. And often things that we've been working on throughout the year start to come into fruition. Things are changing around us. As always, there's a lot of energy going on and different things happening for all sorts of different people across the planet, in different sectors. I bring through some energy updates of themes that I see running around in terms of the community that I belong to, which is, I guess, in New Zealand, but also in the twin flame community and the light worker community. And the things that I sort of tuned into this morning as I sat down and decided to do a video. Also, I just wanted to add in, the first thing I wanted to say was the last video that I did, I left it at kind of a little kind of question mark around what was going to happen with my personal twin flame journey. And I said that I got to that point where it had been about 6 weeks or so, and I hadn't had any verbal communication with my twin. We'd had a couple of texts and things, but I felt like there'd been quite a distance, and the energy had sort of gone really separated. And I just got to that point, and I was like, I have to talk to him. It's really gone too far now. And I just really called him in that night, and then I did the video. And I said, I hope that my twin flame gets in contact with me, because I got to that point where I just pretty much sent him a mental message. Dude, it's time. You need to get in touch with me. It's your turn. Come on, step it up. And almost spoke to him quite firmly. I wouldn't say angry, but just assertive. And anyway, yes, the very next day, the day after I did that twin flame video, so that was the Sunday, I got a text from him in the morning to say, let's talk. And he left me a voice. No, he actually called me. That's right, he called me, but I was at work and I couldn't answer, so I just left him a message. And then we caught up later that night and we had a really good catch up. And so I just wanted to note that I know it sounds a little bit, I don't know, maybe immature or childish, or it might even sound like I'm trying to control him and manipulate him by trying to get him to contact me. But when you're a twin flame, that's kind of, I guess, my boundary where, look, it's time to talk, dude. You've gone on for too long, and you sort of call people out on their stuff. And I told him, I said, I actually sent you a mental message and told you needed to contact me. And he got it. He said, I know, I got that. So I thought that was quite kind of cool and funny, and I wanted to start with that first off. And then I want to talk about some of the themes that I'm hearing and seeing and feeling. And so the word that sort of comes up, a couple of words here I've written down, impatience. So this is still kind of a little bit of an issue for many, where we kind of always want things to happen immediately. And it's kind of, we're now in a society where things are given to us immediately, and we kind of come to expect it. And so this whole twin flame thing can really make us have to slow down and be patient and let go of all of, again, these are the same messages. You've heard these over and over again, but it started with that today when I sat down to do the meditation. It was like, get rid of, get over, transmute, heal, whatever you need to do, your energy of impatience. And with this comes, we have the other part of impatience, which helps us deal with the impatience, is to believe and trust that everything is unfolding the way it should, everything's being designed just the way it should, and everybody's working on just the bit that they're needing to work on. And for some people, that is individually. And if you really are honest with yourself and you take a really good look inside, you'll see that you're still working on some stuff. And I'm in that group too. I'm not quite ready for any union with my twin flame at this point. And there's a lot of pressure in the community in many ways to get into union and to sort of hurry up about that. But you know what? I saw something in the museum the other day when I went for a little bit of a visit to our beautiful museum in our capital city, Wellington, and they had an exhibit there of albatrosses, and these are, I'm not sure if they're native to New Zealand. I think they do have albatrosses in other countries, but we have a special albatross that's native to and lives in the South Island of New Zealand. I have not seen these birds because they only live down in that particular area where I've never been. Anyway, I was reading the information about albatrosses, and there was a bit that said that when they first met each other, they then dance together, and I think it was either 4 or 7 years before they actually mate. So I thought that was a profound message, and I actually took a photo of that, so I may include that as part of this video. It might pop up on the screen where you'll see the little part where I photographed the explanation there at the museum. So that's something about albatrosses. I think that relates to twin flames completely. These things take time, and when I thought of me and my twin flame, I met him in 2015, and we are at that 4 years now. And as I always say, we are friends, we talk, we communicate, we each have our own lives. We also have at different times had different partners along the way. He's currently with a partner, although he wouldn't call her a partner because he doesn't like those labels. And I'm also seeing someone very casually at this time, just because I see these opportunities to meet others as a learning along our path in which we have a lesson to learn. And in my case, at the moment, my lesson is with boundaries with this person, and being confident and assertive enough to actually say how I'm feeling and what I want, and telling him when things are too much or that I need more, speaking out and asking for what I need. And, these are things that I've never been that good at. So again, these relationships are really important too, and part of the journey with others, just as much as our relationship with our twin flame. It's not, just about our twin flame, but our twin flame is obviously, of course it's just about them too. Of course it is. But along the way, we have so many other experiences that add to the richness and the fabric and the weaving and the dance of this whole amazing journey. So another few words I've got here written on my page are interruptions. So I noticed that when I sat down to do this video, my daughter sent me a text, because instead of coming and talking to me when I'm just in the room next door, she sends me a text and, "Hello Mum, where are you? Can you come here?" And I was like, part of me was a little bit angry, a little bit irritated, and I thought, But then I realized, if we stay present and we stay conscious, she needed me, she texts me, she wants me to come here. So, again, the practice is actually, why am I getting angry and irritated? I really need to look at that and think, hey, I don't want to come to my daughter with like, what do you want? I don't want to talk to her in that way. I need to be conscious and say, hey, hun, what is it? Are you okay? Everything good? Even though on the inside I was a little bit, I was going to use a Māori word there, which we use in New Zealand, hoha, which is kind of like pretty much bummed out, bored or not feeling the best. So I decided not to take that energy in, and I just thought, each moment is an opportunity to practice goodwill, presence, being in our heart, being kind, being mindful of how we communicate with others and what we're communicating, and setting our own energy straight. So again, a lot of our work is that as twin flames is around energy work, energy healing up those aspects of ourselves that are suffering or unconsciously behaving in ways that aren't always healthy, and not shaming ourselves for that. As always, this is a regular talk that I have. The first part is recognizing it. I'm feeling that way. I'm feeling a certain way. Notice it. Be curious. Okay, how can I come into more of an alignment with my heart and my true self and how I really want to be as a person, how I'd really like to behave? What's that part of me that's feeling that, what does it need, how to talk to that part of you, soothe it, comfort it, nurture it, and make it feel included and acknowledged in this part of the journey, whatever you're going through. And communication with the self, again, another huge theme with twin flames, and particularly with my twin flame. He's very big on communication. I say that and then he doesn't talk to me for 6 weeks. But if you know, I'm going on a tangent here, but I know about my twin flame and his star sign. Really, I think it might have quite a lot to do with that, because I read up on his particular star sign, which I won't mention because I don't want to give away too much personal information about him, because I want to protect his identity. And but anyway, his particular star sign is kind of renowned for that. So when they communicate with you, it's all of a sudden, and it's really deep, and it's really a lot in one hit. And then sometimes they go away for periods of a time, and they go into their little bubble, and they just do their own thing, and they forget the rest of the world exists. And then suddenly their time's gone by, and they haven't even realized. And he's very much like that. And he often, when he comes back into communication again, he'll say, oh, you know me, I've been in my bubble, and he'll talk about that. So that was kind of about being mindful and of yourself. Opportunities is another word I've written down. So many of you will be being offered up opportunities. Things will be arriving. I feel like that's part of a shift that we've just gone through, where many of us have been through quite a little bit of a tough time recently in the last 2 to 4 to 6 months of this year, where we've been doing some major clearing and upgrading. And as always, part of that is we get some lovely rewards coming in for us, and we often forget about that when we've been at it, hard slogging, doing the real deep healing work, and finding things difficult, walking in a bit of a fog, not really clear where we're going, getting slightly feeling as if we're lost or off track or off balance. And when we do some of that healing work, the next part of that is a reward from the universe that says, well done, you've cleared that. Have you noticed that you're no longer triggered now when that situation arises? Awesome. You're on the right track. You're coming into wholeness in yourself, which is what we're all aiming for. And then bam, something comes into your life, something appears. In my case, I'll give you an example of how that looks. It looks like I'm going to be putting an offer in on a property, and I really want to thank you, those of you that are my regular listeners and subscribers and beautiful part of this community that listens to my channel. Thank you so much, because I feel that I received some beautiful energy from you guys that helped me manifest this amazing house that I never even knew would exist, even in my dreams. It's better than that, and it's arrived, and it's not appealing to everybody, which makes it appealing to me, because I'm a little bit different and weird and alternative and quirky and hippie. And so that's what is great about this house. And so everything's kind of coming into alignment for me to be able to put in an offer on that house. And it could be that pretty soon I'm going to be in a place where I never ever imagined that I'd be, which is owning my own home and just, really doing it. And alongside that, we've had a new shop open up in the town that I now live in, or the community that I live in, the extended community. We've got kind of little cluster of towns in this area that I live. It's a seaside community, and a new crystal shop has appeared. And, again, I've been doing quite a lot of energy grid work around this place. And previously I used to have to drive at least an hour to get crystals, to get tarot cards, to get the energy of incense or anything that I needed. I had to travel, and now there's a shop right here, and I popped in there the other day and spoke to the woman who's running that place and talked to her about readings, and it might be possible that I'm possibly going to start a weekend job there doing readings. So again, it's another kind of opening, things appearing, things showing up in your world, and that might look like all sorts of things to you, but what it's trying to show you is that you're growing, you're evolving, you're manifesting, you're bringing things into action. And if you're not doing that, it'll be because you're in a fallow period of integration and inner work, and then you'll go in another cycle where you'll manifest again. So it's always doing that. It's a natural occurrence. It's a natural evolutionary process. So just know that you will manifest and things are coming for you because you're doing the work, and it's beautiful. Now, just some other information came through again around the balancing of the polarities, which is always a theme on my channel anyway, that I talk about a lot in my videos. But coming up again, they're talking to me about the whole dynamic of men, masculines, needing to play that role of provider, and that has created a huge burden for a large number of men, a huge extra weight of responsibility that they're meant to provide for and be responsible for the feminine and their whole families. And over time, that burden has become a very, very heavy weight for them to carry. And that's why I'm getting more understanding as things are unraveling here, why many men kind of run away, and why we've ended up with kind of what I'd call an epidemic in this current society, in terms of this generation, really, since we've started having a lot of divorces and relationship breakups, and guys kind of on some level feeling like that they don't want that pressure, they don't need all of that pressure. And you can see that is out of balance. That is way too much pressure for one person to have to carry a whole family plus one. I kind of know this because I'm doing it as a single parent on that part of the masculine. So I feel that that's trying to come into alignment, and that is part of what the divine feminines, as we are healing, that part of us that says, hey, we can actually look after ourselves. We shouldn't be relying on others to support us. That also creates an unhealthy dynamic of codependency, of imbalance of power, and the means that there's an ability to manipulate with power and control those of us that are in a seemingly weaker position. Also, that that's created all of those kind of dynamics. There's so many dynamics that have popped up around this. The male is the breadwinner and the provider scenario and stereotype. So there's a lot of rebalancing on this. And when I say breaking down, I know that when we say that, it feels too heavy, too painful, and a little bit too fast, and a little bit too it could be painful. So we're doing this slowly. Everything is slow. That's why things take time. So the divine feminine is grounding in the beautiful goddess energy. And so this comes in around the balance of the polarity. Is the goddess energy is a mixture of things. She can be very, very vulnerable and very, very soft and very, very smooth and allowing. But if you tune into this in this goddess energy, she is not reliant on a man. There's no reliance as such. We're moving into more of an interdependence, and we talk about that. What does that really mean? If you think about goddess energy, and you're aiming for that goddess energy as a divine feminine, there is no leaning on the man or kind of needing them or wanting them or to support us in a way that's where we're not, we're just a sort of pathetic, blithery sort of mess. So we're needing to find our way here. So if we're not relying on the man, then are we doing it ourselves? And when we try and do it ourselves, are we becoming too independent, where we just kind of push the man away and say, well, we don't need you anymore? And then we're going, all of this stuff's being worked out. So we're figuring it out. We're in the midst of all of that. I mean, that again has been going on for a long time, since I can even say the 1960s and 70s, when feminism came around. And that was the time when the divine feminine was rising. And when we go into polarities, we go often into the extremes of either polarities. And so we've been extreming, and our pendulums have been swinging wildly from one extreme to the other, where we're either weak and vulnerable, or we're overly independent and don't need anyone. And so we're needing to find the middle place, the beautiful feminines. So again, think about that goddess energy. She has all those qualities in her. She does have the softness, she has the strength, and she can do it on her own just as much as she can do it together with her beautiful, divine, beloved masculine. And again, don't get hung up on my definitions, my usage of pronouns, him, her, he, she. Let's not get hung up on that either, because we know that twin flame dynamics and energies occur in either male-male, female-female, or even can be flipped around so that the female is carrying the masculine, the male is carrying the feminine, stronger polarity. So we're all balancing these out. We are continuing to do that. What else have I got here? Okay, so if struggling, ask for help. Again, a key message that always comes up for us. So remember, reach out not just to other physical people in your world, but also energetically to source, to spirit, to our angels and our guides who help us the very most. You know, that's where the magic happens, when we connect into that spiritual power and energy that helps us and moves through us to create what we're needing to create and organize our life. A little just message on the side there: know and feel you can have everything you want. So we're moving again out of, and this is part of this manifestation energy, is moving out of that lack where we're in that energy of thinking we haven't got something, we haven't got this or that, whether it's the job we want or the partner or the house or whatever it is. Wherever we are, kind of that slightly victim mentality, oh, I'm stuck in this position, there's nothing I can do about it. We are stepping out of that. We are not thinking that anymore. We know and we feel exactly what we want, exactly what we deserve, and we're bringing that in really beautifully now as well. What have I got here? Okay. So on the masculine side, because I kept asking that question, so what's happening when it's a masculine, when that feels like, oh, I'm not actually needed, I can't handle the responsibility because that's too much, but when I go away and because I can't handle that, then what do I do? Because I feel like I'm not needed, so what am I meant to do in the world? So there's kind of a lot of masculines roaming around in that sector at the moment, in that zone, feeling slightly confused about what their role is on the planet. So I just want to put it right out here that I heard honor and respect the divine feminine. And that goes both ways. I'm not saying, this is not meant to be skewed. And I know that I've had people accuse me of being skewed in one direction or the other. I don't really care about that. All I'm talking about is from my perspective of where I can see things from. And my perspective, of course, it's limited. I can only see, I'm looking at a tree right now, I can only see the part of the tree that I can see. There's another side to that tree I can't see. So that's fine. Other people are there looking at that other side of the tree and talking about that. So if you need other information, this is only part of it. You need another part. There's other people doing that other part. So we're all doing just our part, and that's cool. So, honouring and respecting the divine feminine. It feels like a little bit of a, I might get beaten up for this, but I am just going to say it, bowing down. Oh, bowing down to the feminine, really, really honouring her, treating her like a goddess. That does need to happen. That still needs to happen. I can see that coming. Okay, this is just a general message. Love what you love and be that. So I know for many of us, we've been brought up in a way that we've felt that we need to gain other people's approval in order to be accepted and loved and validated. But many of us now are realizing we don't need that. We don't need that from outside. And what it brings in when we no longer need that is that we can actually really be ourselves and be who we are and love who we are and do what we love and not be ashamed of it and not hide it and not mold it into what you think everyone else is wanting it to be, or to fit it into a certain place, or to be approved of that just isn't you. So this is all about coming into that being who you are, authenticity. We talk about that, again, another major theme. At the same time, when I said that the masculine are getting down on their knees to honor and respect the divine feminine. The feminine is holding space for the masculine during this time of transition. So it's the feminines that are kind of making their way in the world and building their foundations in terms of businesses, property, money, all of that, and also just energetically. And this is another theme that I've been talking about for a very long time, since I first started channeling information about twin flames, and when I first realized that I was a twin flame, and I got tipped upside down and my head got exploded and my heart just got blown up and everything happened and my kundalini blew out and everything just went crazy. That's when I started getting this information about the feminine holding ground, not just physical ground, but also spiritual ground. Yeah, spiritual energy, the whole energy. Again, I'm seeing beautiful person sitting there with all their chakras lit up and some beautiful light coming down from source, and you will find yourselves in your life at various times holding space for, I'm going to say, masculines, not your divine masculine personally per se, but you are going to have masculines coming into your life that will need your support, your beautiful, nurturing, divine, feminine, space holding of acceptance, love, non-judgment, so they can be heard and acknowledged. So I have this happen in my job because I am a youth coach in a youth support service, and I have a caseload of a mixture of male, female, transgender, and all sorts of people on my caseload that are young people between the age of 15 to 20. So I have experienced several of my young men, and particularly one the other day that needed to talk to me about, we just were chatting, and then he just brought it up about his dad and started talking about his dad and some of the things that his dad had told him, and he just started tearing up. And it was just so beautiful, and just sitting with him, all I needed to do was just sit with him, just allowing him to talk in that way, providing him with that space where he felt safe to talk and feel, and how beautiful that was for both of us. So I just wanted to add that in. I feel like I've kind of come to the end of this message for today. I am seeing quite a bit of symbolism with the rose. Gosh, I'm seeing that have I been talking for 27 minutes? That's really a lot. Didn't realize I've been talking that long. Anyway, okay, so I did pull 3 cards quickly for twin flames to finish off and confirm. I got, and this is another theme of twin flames, God is in charge. So just remember, it's not our journey to try and take control over or make things happen or do whatever it is. If you're meant to do something, you'll be severely guided to do it, and you'll know that it's the right time to act. Otherwise, trust in everything. Believe and trust is the second message card that I got. So believe and trust that all is as it's meant to be. And energy healing work, which we are always doing. So just a little message there. Continue to do our beautiful energy healing work, gridding not just our own physical bodies, detoxing, clearing, healing, being present, doing all of that, but also using our bodies as energy transmitters to bring in beautiful energy onto our particular geographical grid point in which we live. So getting that beautiful high energy going, bringing it in through our bodies. And that is it. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for listening, and have a beautiful 11/11 gateway experience of going through to the next chapter in our lives. And I will see you on the other side of this gateway and timeline change. Thank you so very much. Bye for now.